Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
Yeah, once again, welcome to PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best and latest updates in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like, and also share to other members to watch as well. You can equally leave a comment at the comment section after watching, or send us a voice note on our WhatsApp number, which is 0277128777. Thank you. I want you to join me listening to a reaction from AB Amaliba on the behavior of the minority yesterday, demonstrating and sitting on the floor, which he also came out with his view and descending on Afenyo Markin, tell him to shut up and stop making the unnecessary noise. If anything, he knows the law, he knows how to go about it. Without much ado, I would like you to join me listening to what he said into detail. And this is all about Wontumi's arrest, which they are also demonstrating. Instead of passing the right way, they decided to boycott Parliament, which Amaliba has also added his voice duly. Join me listening to what he said into detail. This station still remains PENDREAM TV. Do subscribe for more videos. Like and also share to other colleagues of yours. Thank you. Stay tuned.
With his colleagues by his side. The deputy minority leader is the one you saw in the plastic chair. She didn't make it to the floor like the others, but that's a form of protest that they were putting out there. A bit of scuffle here and there with the police at various points in time. Ties were brought. I saw a video of an attempt to burn a tie, and that was scattered by the police. You see them again in a shot, the minority members of parliament over there, and you heard the minority leader say that, look, they are going to do this until it gets to the point where something is done about its bail conditions. They are not going to go to parliament, they are going to boycott parliament, and they are going to register their displeasure with the bail conditions that have been fixed by the Economic and Organized Crime Office. And I want to start the conversation by coming to AB at this point in time. And AB, I mean, what is happening? I mean, how do you process all that is taking place? And are they justified to register their displeasure where they are doing so at the Economic and Organized Crime Office? It's a valid way of registering their displeasure, some will say, or you hold the view that they should be going to the law courts if they have any such concerns.
So let me say good morning to your viewers. The minorities' conduct yesterday is clearly lawlessness at its best. What happened yesterday was nothing more than lawlessness. Afenyo Markin should shut up. You can't scream on your voice and say that Iyoko should vary the terms of the bill of the bail condition. If we were going to be doing that, then state institutions cannot work. Then when state institutions act and you are not happy, all you need to do is to go to those state institutions, attack them, scream on your voice, and then they will change their decision. You don't do that in a democracy. That is not what is done. But aren't you surprised that a man who could file a case in the morning and by 12 get the Supreme Court empaneled and decision is given to him, the same man is afraid to go to court? What has happened? Let's find out. Let's ponder over that. Because this is a man who would ordinarily run to the court. We know that's his modus operandi. Why is it that on this occasion, this man is now screaming on his voice and is not resorting to the courts? Does that feed into the conspiracy that people have come out with, that there was a certain woman there who was favoring him, and now the woman is no more there, and that's why they can't proceed to court? Does that feed into that narrative? Why? Wontumi, we were all in this country and saw his conduct, even under the Akufo-Addo administration, he was reported to the police. But the police were not capable of dealing with the matter. There are people who voted for a change of government because they want wrongdoers in the previous administration to be held accountable. There are a chunk of Ghanaians who did that. They were not interested in NDC coming to power. Their interest was that we want people to be held accountable. Under Akufo-Addo administration, Wontumi's company, and I'm talking about the police, because the police first arrested him, was cited for mining illegally in a forest reserve. So the police then picked him for unlawful entry into a forest reserve. That same conduct can occasion another crime. Which crime is what Iyoko 2 is dealing with? The three you have mentioned. Money laundering, because the predicated offense is you engage in illegal mining. So money laundering is as a result of the predicated offense of illegal mining. Then you transform the money into another
maybe asset or something.
Exactly. When the money is transferred into doing another activity, that's where the money laundering is. It's not just about carrying the money outside. Now he's been granted bail after interrogation. Yes, you may feel that the bail condition is high. You may feel so. But how do you get that overturned? All administrative bodies in this country are under judicial review of our courts. So if you see that an administrative body is going or has done something which is beyond its jurisdiction, you proceed to court and have the court try to overturn what they have done. On this equation, we are seeing the minority engaging in lawless behavior. Look, all these things have happened in this country before. Me, in my previous life, as director of legal of the NDC, that was at the height of the MPP's attack and atrocity on some of our members. That was when I was virtually sleeping at the police headquarters. We saw all these things. At one point, I told some of my people that, look, these police people have no problem. It is we, the politicians, who are using them against ourselves. I told my colleagues. So, have we gone full cycle? The answer is yes. Because today, the minority is speaking the same language we were speaking.
I mean, but is that not the more reason why you should be concerned about what is happening?
No, me, I have told you that you do me, I do you before we come to the table.
No, but I mean,
no.
We all agree that.
Because if one side.
That would leave the world blind.
Yes, but this is not what will lead us. This one, it will not, we won't go blind. We will only go into cells and come back. Now, full cycle. Full cycle. I remember Ampofo, my former chairman, was being harassed. Ampofo was on, when he's sleeping those days, he'll put this thing there. We told the police that this man uses, what's the name of that machine? Oxygen. He has some medications. Then they will say that it's an order from above. My point this morning is, if we as politicians don't come to the round table and say that we put these things aside and deal with each other with respect, I would say that these things will continue. This arrest will continue. This conduct by the police will continue. But was that the right approach for the minority? The answer is no. They could go and file habeas corpus, because I hear some of them even saying that they don't know the whereabouts of the man.
In fact, on the first day, the suggestion was that he had been rushed to a hospital. They went
they didn't see the hospital, yes. And there are astute lawyers amongst them. The MPP, those people who were seated there. You file a habeas corpus application. You could even use the pegging of the bail bond to say that they are using the amount to deny Wontumi bail. Even though bail is granted, but you've pegged it so high that he can't meet it. But you don't lead people to Yoko, virtually ordering them to reduce the bail bond. Is that how we operate in a democracy? I think that the minority, led by Afenyo Markin, is a complete disgrace, and I am of the view that their conduct should be criticized by all well-meaning Ghanaians. We have the courts. They were the first to be telling people that go to court, go to court. What has happened within these last 4 months that they have no confidence in the court? What has happened? I want an answer from them.
Release either conditionally or unconditionally. So if they've released you based on a condition, if not met it, then they have to keep you. But he takes the view that, well, if you've not been able to meet the condition, it means you cannot meet it. So they have to now take you to court and charge you for the courts to decide.
Well, I agree that you cannot hold somebody beyond 48 hours. That is non-negotiable.
Okay.
And I won't say that because it's my opponent today, I will misread that law. 48 hours is 48 hours. I'm speaking this way because tomorrow I may be defending somebody else.
I used to meet you at the CID.
So. Exactly. So I have been in the situation, and I have cried out loudly, justifying some of the provisions. So 48 hours is 48 hours. If you don't go to court within 48 hours, it doesn't stop his lawyers from also going to court and asking the court to order the institution to bring him to court. That is what I've talked about as producing the person in court. That is the habeas corpus, you know. So 48 hours is non-negotiable. That one, I agree. The other thing that I want to explain is when you talked about sureties and those things. What is bail? Bail is simply releasing somebody to another person, and that person guarantees that when the court needs him, I'll bring him. That's all. So there are instances where people will go to court and say, I can no longer be the surety for this person. I can't bring him to court. He's evasive. When I'm looking for him, I don't get him. So they will quash, and then he may have to look for another person. So it is simply releasing a suspect or an accused to another person who guarantees that anytime the court wants that person, he will produce the person. And that's how come if they don't find the person, they'll be looking for you, the surety. Now, in the case of Wontumi, the investigative bodies will look at the crime, the gravity of the offense, and place the bail condition.
Bail bond.
Don't forget, in this one, there is something about cross-border offense. You read it?
Yeah.
That makes it a bit more difficult than just the ordinary matters like causing financial loss to the state and all those things. They will also want to look at whether you are likely to flee the country, because you would also look at the offenses that you are being charged with and weigh it. Is it worth staying in Ghana or I should fly? All those things are taken into consideration before the bail is given. So those who are saying the bail condition is high should also look at the offenses that he's being charged with. Look, this is a man who took like, who on the 8th of January, when government had changed, he was paid $10 million against the advice of the Chief of Staff. This same man took, how much? Is it $10 million? The other one was $51 million, the one that he took on the 8th. but $10 million to do farming, maize farming. Anytime the inspectors came, he took them to somebody's farm.
I mean, all those are allegations that would have to be investigated.
I'm telling you the gravity of the offense.
Yes.
This is the status, the Republic's case against him.
Okay.
And so it would be difficult for a state institution to lower the bail bond. But also, because of the liberties of individuals, the courts are always quick to ensure that because he's still a suspect and not yet a convict, his liberties will not be denied. So when they go to court, I'm sure they will have a leeway to ensure that he's brought out.
I mean, but if you compare this to the Kwabena Banahini, the former Director General for the Signals Bureau situation, I mean, it does bring to fore that it appears Yoko may well be acting in a bit of a high-handedness manner. And I say so because in that instance, they fixed the condition for 120 million. I mean, when they went over to the court, 120 million, there were two individuals involved, each of them. 120 million, not collectively put together, 120 million, to be justified. They went to the court and the court had to intervene and bring it down. I remember a case here in Ghana, one of the trials last year. They fixed 2 years ago, they fixed it around 200 million cedis at the High Court, bail bond. It went over to the Court of Appeal and the Court of Appeal said, no, that's too much. Because what the court had done was they looked at the monies involved and the Court of Appeal said, no, you can't put that amount. In the case of Republic versus Mike Nyinaku.
You should understand, state institutions are heavily on the side of the state. It is the court that has a balancing act to do.
Okay.
That's why you should understand. Every state, you get it. Even in the US, every state institution heavily protects and guards the states and will do the things that they are doing. But that's why the adhesion is not final. The kinds of things you are talking about is when it goes to court. And that's where the judge, he has a balancing act to do. And he will look at the liberty of the individual and look at the gravity of the offense and then reduce it. So after the state institution, don't blame them for anything. Okay. They are always on the side of the state. Yeah.
Let me return to Austin before I come to Ebo and Prof. And Austin, there's a concern that people are raising from the videos that they are watching on social media, and they make reference to the Public Order Act. It simply requires that if you are organizing a special event, you should give the police a notice at least within 5 days. I mean, we have legislation. They decide that he's not met the conditions, they are going to go back over there, and the police will stand and consent.
Probably today, but yesterday was so volatile. If you read the report on the May 9th disaster at the Accra Sports Stadium, you will come to
the Okujeto
committee. You will come to a portion of that report that said that if the police had not thrown the tear gas, we wouldn't have had so many deaths. So policing should also be democratic. There's what is called democratic policing, where the police will also have to determine the situation. And that's why in answering your question, I said that maybe today, the police would be in a better position to deal with violators of the act. But yesterday was spontaneous. Okay. And as a police institution, I think that they were right by not, stopping them midway or even at any point. Okay. But just to guard them and ensure that they don't go beyond the boundaries. But today, if the police insist, and I expected that today the police should have issued a letter, is there a press release that the MPs are violating the law. Because they are the ones who pass the law in Parliament. And if they are the ones who are being seen also violating the law, what should the ordinary man then do? So I wouldn't fault them for yesterday, but today I'll fault them if they allow such things to happen.
Okay. Yeah. Let me wrap up with Austin on Zoom now. And Austin, final comments as we draw the curtain on this conversation today.
Yeah, so Joseph, I think clearly our appeal to the Yoko director to produce a person before court if you feel the person may interfere with investigation and any other reason, and by reason of that, and also the person is unable to meet the bail condition. It's a clear case that you are not able to release a person. So by reason of that, he must, Remonacha must respect Article 14.3 and Section 15 of Act 30. And I also think that the lawyers of Wontumi should go to court if you feel the bail condition is too onerous. And because the law provides that if you feel the bail condition is too onerous, go to court and let the court bar it. They have that right. They should also exercise it. And I think there's one thing I wanted to comment on, the recurrent issue whereby when there's an arrest or when a member of a party, political party, have been invited by law enforcement agencies and they are being interviewed or being detained, you see supporters and even party executives massing at the premises of these state institutions. I think it is worrying. It's one thing we also need to deplore. And I want to speak in strong terms that it is a worrying trend, because you see, we are in one breath asking that our state institutions are not doing their work, and in another breath we are the same people frustrating the effort of our state institutions. So it's something I was looking at, because you see, during Akufo-Addo's time, we also saw similar things, and you well articulate that when they invited and tried to detain the former chairman of NDC. We saw supporters of the National Democratic Congress massing at the premises to, I don't know whether to put pressure on the security agencies or so. Yesterday, we also saw the same thing, not just yesterday, 2 days ago and yesterday, we also saw similar thing happening, but where we saw MPP supporters, including party executives, massing and even some threatening the government, threatening law enforcement. This is all become, and it is something we need to in strong terms condemn. And I want to use a platform to say that this is not how we build institutions. If you want the institutions to work, if they feel that an individual is a suspect, and by reason that he or she may have participated or connived with people to participate in a criminal activity, the law enforcement agencies are within their right to invite or detain that person and conduct the relevant investigation. Let's stop interfering and trying to prevent them to do their work. Threatening them it doesn't help anything. Nobody feels threatened when you mass at their premises and threaten the EOCO boss or threaten the police or the IGP. Nobody feels threatened. You must make sure that if the person is really culpable or the person is innocent, let the law deal with the person and stop massing, equally inviting supporters from across the country to come and leave their various work. And even we are working against the country, because these are people who are supposed to be working for the product, for the wealth and prosperity of this country, and they are massing up. They are massing at premises to prevent law enforcement agencies that we think should be more strategic, should be strong, and should be forceful in doing their work. We are again trying to prevent them from doing that. This is one thing we need to we need to deplore in strong terms. And I think the various political parties need to be careful of this and deal with it.
Thank you very much. That is Austin Kwabna Brako Powers. He's a legal practitioner. He joined us for our discussion this morning. Let me do some messages just before we go. And this one here is from Prince Henry from Koforidua. He said that the MPP minority MPs must stop being hypocritical and allow the law, which is the law, to work. As for Wontumi being sick there, Azankwa, hey, Bibi Etumi Wontumi, wow. That's let me take that one again. He said, as for Wontumi being sick there, Azankwa, hey, Bibi Etumi Wontumi. Why did MPP MPs led by Afenyo refuse to sleep at Yoko office? The law will work because no one is above the law. That is that one from Prince Henry from Koforidua. There are lots of comments on the Facebook feed as well. The Facebook feed, he said the bail conditions are small. That's what Osei Mensah said when Woyeme was given over 50 million bail there. He said the system of accountability will finally stop corruption. That is a message from Patrick on the Facebook page as well. And another one here, you make reference to the Kwabna Edubuahi one, and you are asking why did the MPs not sit on the floor? That is coming from you, Gershon in 3. You said that why did the MPs not sit on the floor when Kwabena Dubois was also granted the 80 million bail bond there. So lots of comments coming through. Thank you so much for sending your messages and watching on Facebook and on TV as well. My guests in the studio have been Abraham Amaliba. He's a legal practitioner, a member of the NDC and Director General of the National Road Safety Authority. Next to him, Ebo Bachman of the Movement of Change, financial and economic analyst. And Prof, I have a friend a very special friend, I must say, in the United States of America. She sent a message. She said, let me read the message directly.
I wanted to talk quickly about that.
I'm coming. I'll give you 1 minute for for the US one, but the lady here says that Prof is looking very, very sharp. You can make your point in 30 seconds now.
The issue about the U.S. mission in U.S. Ghana mission in U.S. being closed down. I've received a lot of calls from Americans.
It has been reopened.
They've now issued
but they think that such an issue should not happen. You know,
the closure.
You can't do that based on somebody's misconduct. So they were not happy, but now that it's been opened, they think that...
I think it was less than even 2 days.
Yes,
less than 2 days.
Yes. So you can only close it when there's insecurity or there's a threat or there's bad relation between that country. And we need to respect our relationship with other countries.
But on that issue, the majority MPs on Foreign Affairs Committee said they were going to go there. Did they go there?
No, they've not been there yet.
We'll see how...
But summer is time for traveling, and most Kenyans there want to come home. And all their visas were being delayed because of the closure. So
at least now it's been reopened.
Yes, let's guard against that.
Let's see how that story unfolds. That is it by way of this segment. Stay tuned in. We have a lot more for you, exciting conversation for you on the show. Stay tuned in.
Thank you for staying tuned. PENDREAM TV really appreciates your time, and once again says, God bless you for the good work you are doing and making time for us as well. May God bless you. Nyameshra obia, bibiamu obia, bibiamu nya bundle credits at the share. Ajumapa edin. Nyame mfa nhyɛ hɔ ma mo. Na hyɛ mo den na mo ntena ase. Ɛwɔ asomdwie mu. Bye bye.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Now so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.